The name Kelly Ripa connotes coziness, humor, and that reassuring acquaintance every morning. Millions of people awakened to a secret that ignited national excitement. The announcement of a baby at this point in their lives felt like a second daybreak for a couple who had already raised three amazing children, Michael, Lola, and Jokin. Picture the scene. Family get-togethers, quiet conversations, and beaming grins. Kelly's eyes were sparkling with eagerness. Mark gripped her hand a bit more firmly than normal. They were both enjoying what seemed to be a precious time. Could this be a late-life miracle? Fans wondered. A surprising turn that went against the grain? Additionally, Kelly exuded a light in interviews that inspired everyone to believe in the unpredictable nature of life. However, as is frequently the case, happiness and heartache are two sides of the same coin. And what Kelly and Mark were going to experience would demonstrate that even in our most joyful times, life may call upon us to muster unfathomable fortitude. In one instant, the happiness of childbearing, the laughing, and the future aspirations all came tumbling down. The much-celebrated pregnancy ended in tragedy, a loss that made silence more powerful than words. This was a grief Kelly, a woman whose warmth permeates the screen, was unable to conceal. Both Mark as well as Elos, the actor who is renowned for his calm and forceful manner, were devastated. But in the midst of their suffering, something amazing occurred. Instead of running away, they both leaned into the sadness. They started an open grieving process to demonstrate to the world that love is transformed rather than weakened by loss. The public's heart was then broken by Mark's statements, which were so honest and heartfelt. He discussed the paradox of losing something you've hardly had a chance to know, the frailty of life, and the importance of keeping loved ones close. His heartfelt admission covered more ground than just sorrow. It was about the strength of love and hope that endures even when the best hopes of life end too soon. In interviews conducted after the loss, Mark's openness turned into a courage lesson. He talked about how he felt both presence and absence every day when he entered the house, a reminder of the small life that might have been entwined with the family he had already established. In addition to Kelly, he addressed the millions of people in attendance, explaining how loss can teach us to cherish the little things in life, the calm strength of supporting one another through a storm, the gentle touch of a hand, and the laughter shared at the breakfast table. And this was possibly the most motivating. He underlined that love endures despite loss. It grows, develops, and turns into a beacon of light in the dark. Mark's expression of the suffering was incredibly human. It served as a reminder to viewers that everyone is affected by loss, regardless of age or social standing, and how we react can influence not just how we heal, but also how happy we can be in the future. Kelly's reaction was just as impressive. She opted for vulnerability over avoiding the limelight. She candidly told her story, giving voice to the heartbreak that many people endure in silence. Her message was unambiguous. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. And it's also okay to experience the burden of loss. Even though there are still beautiful moments in life, Kelly's public display of her suffering served as a reminder to her audience, especially those in their 60s, many of whom have experienced their own hardships, that grieving is not a sign of weakness. Indeed, it serves as a bridge to recovery. She then started encouraging people by proving that hope can be found again even in the midst of sorrow. Following the heartache, the Ripa Consuelos family reunited in a way that was deeply touching and personal. Beyond just words, Michael, Lola, and Jogan provided their parents with support. A peaceful evening spent together, a hand held, a shared lunch, and small gestures all turned into acts of healing. A timeless truth was reaffirmed by this period of their lives. Grief becomes less heavy when it's shared with loved ones, and love takes over as the driving force. This time wasn't only about coping for Kelly and Mark. For their audience, it was about setting an example of fortitude, genuineness, and the enduring strength of familial ties. Kelly and Mark learned that optimism can arise from the most unusual sources. Despite the sadness that persisted, they started to enjoy the small pleasures in life, the peaceful comfort of just being together, the warmth of a sunny morning, and the joy of their children. In doing so, they served as a reminder to everyone in attendance that if we are open to seeing them, life can offer moments of light even at our darkest periods. When Mark's heartfelt remarks reverberated through the media, they transcended mere introspection. They turned into a message for everyone who has experienced loss. Joy and grief are not mutually exclusive. They are entangled strands in the fabric of in a heart-wrenching turn of events. Kelly Ripa and her husband Mark Consuelos have faced an unimaginable loss as their joy of expecting a child was abruptly overshadowed by heartbreak. What was supposed to be a time of celebration and excitement for the couple has turned into a difficult journey filled with emotional pain and tearful moments. Mark Consuelos, visibly shaken by the situation, shared his tearful words with fans, expressing his sorrow and the deep impact this loss has had on both him and Callie. The couple, who have been open about their love for each other and their family, had been eagerly anticipating the arrival of their child. But the devastating news has left them reeling. This tragic turn of events has not only affected the couple emotionally, but has also led to an outpouring of support from fans, friends, and celebrities alike. Here's a closer look at Kelly and Mark's heartbreaking journey and the emotional toll this has taken on both of them. The pregnancy joy that turned to heartache. Kelly Ripa, the vibrant and lively host of Live with Kelly and Mark, had previously shared the news of her pregnancy with the world. Fans were overjoyed for the couple, who have always been seen as one of the most loving and supportive couples in Hollywood. Kelly had often spoken about her excitement over expanding their family, and her joy was evident in every interview and social media post. For Kelly, pregnancy was a time to bond with her family and prepare for the arrival of their newest member. But as so often happens in life, joy can quickly turn to sorrow. In a heartbreaking turn of events, Kelly and Mark's pregnancy dream came to an end unexpectedly, leaving them both devastated. The details surrounding the loss remain private, but the emotional toll it has taken on Kelly and Mark is clear. As public figures, they have shared their journey with fans, and this moment of heartache has been no exception. Kelly's usual upbeat and positive demeanor was replaced with a sense of quiet sorrow as she reflected on the loss. In her tearful goodbye, she shared her heartbreak with the world, expressing how difficult it was to process such a deep and personal tragedy. Her words were filled with emotion, and the pain in her voice was evident. Mark Consuelos' tearful words. Mark Consuelos, known for his strong presence and charm, has always been a supportive and loving partner to Kelly. However, this loss has shaken him to his core. In a public message shared with fans, Mark, visibly teary-eyed, opened up about the pain he and Kelly were experiencing. He spoke of the overwhelming sadness they felt and how it had affected them both deeply. "It's been a difficult time for us," Mark said, his voice cracking with emotion. "This was something we had hoped for and dreamed of, and now we are just trying to make sense of it all. Kelly and I are heartbroken, and we are taking it one day at a time. It's not easy, but we have each other, and that's what's keeping us going." Mark's words resonated with fans, many of whom have followed the couple's journey over the years. His vulnerability and honesty in the face of such a personal tragedy allowed fans to connect with him and Kelly on a deeper level. It was a moment of raw emotion that showed Mark not only as a husband, but as a human being experiencing the same kind of heartbreak that many people face in life. The couple's bond has always been strong, and this loss has only brought them closer together. Mark's emotional words were a reminder of the strength of their relationship and how they continue to support each other even in their darkest moments. The impact of the loss on Kelly and Mark. The pain of losing a child is one of the most profound and heartbreaking experiences a couple can go through, and Kelly and Mark's loss has taken a significant emotional toll on both of them. As public figures, they have always been open with their fans about the highs and lows of their personal lives, but this loss has been something that they have chosen to process privately, surrounded by their closest loved ones. For Kelly, the loss has been particularly difficult. As a mother of three, she has always cherished her role as a parent and has spoken openly about the joy her children bring to her life. The dream of adding to their family was something Kelly and Mark were excited about, and to have that dream shattered has left them both grappling with their emotions. Despite the overwhelming sadness, Kelly has shown immense strength throughout this difficult time. She has been surrounded by support from her family, friends, and fans, and has relied on that support as she navigates this painful journey. While she is taking time away from her hosting duties, she is also focused on her family and her own healing process. The outpouring of support from fans and celebrities as the news of Kelly and Mark's heartbreak spread, fans and celebrities alike reached out to offer their support and condolences. Social media platforms were flooded with messages of love.